So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh, should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show, the show where we talk about all things that are important in the world of barbecue. From big-name interviews with competitors on the barbecue circuit, grill manufacturers and pit makers, to advice on cooking brisket and ribs. You'll find it all right here on the Barbecue Central Show. Your host, Greg Rempe, is a backyard barbecue and grilling fanatic and loves to talk about his passion, which many of us share together. You can learn more about barbecue and grilling by visiting the website, thebbqcentral.com. Now, let's get in the smoke. Here's your program host, Greg Rempe.
And a very good evening to you. Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show. Yeah, it's the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. The show originates, if you didn't know, by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, rapidly becoming known as the barbecue capital of the North Coast. Glad you could join me tonight. Let me give you some contact information. If you want to jump in, you can do so via the phone, 216. How about the toll-free number, just in case? 877-448-0433. 877-448-0433 is the phone number to call in. Maybe you have something that you would like to talk about, you would have a question on, or what have you. 877-448-0433 is the number to get in touch with the show. You can also email at any point if you wish. New email address, by the way, which is greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Greg, no two G's at the end. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Also a new email address for the winners of the 4-segment free-for-all, which we'll get into here in just a moment. Let me tell you what's happening here on the show tonight before we go any farther, because the show's jam-packed, as always. Coming up here in about 13 minutes from now, new guest to the show, Will Homer. Will Homer is rancher and co-owner of a business called Painted Hills Natural Beef and the Painted Hills Natural Beef Alliance, their website, paintedhillsnaturalbeef.com. And he is a rancher that is under the belief, which I happen to support, that all natural beef is good, the organic diet is good, that a long time ago we were eating regionally, we were consuming what was around us, you know, at a 100 square, 200 square mile radius, or perhaps even a little bit less, or perhaps a little bit more than that, depending on where you were from. But we were eating what was around us. And at some point, especially with the beef and the meat packing and all that stuff, it became out of hand and centralized and mass-produced, and drugs and all this stuff were injected into the beef, and kind of led us in what we were in here today. And there has been a movement afoot lately of artisan beefs coming around and people looking for quality ranchers to do business with and offer up some great beef products for us to enjoy that are safe to eat, that taste good, that depending on diet can vary in taste, depending on what you're looking for even, almost like a wine. You remember Carrie Oliver of OliverRanch.com. She's been on the show a couple times, and you know, she's a person that's looking to meet up with these artisan ranchers and these pure raising of beef ranchers and kind of put beef tastings together and all that stuff. And definitely Will Homer is going to be talking on an expertise side of what it's like to be in the ranching business, how it's changed here over the last probably 25, 30 years, you know, what it was like back in the day, and then how the bastardization of meat has really put a quality stamp or a damper of quality beef that you can really get at grocery stores and some of the other meat purveyors. So we'll talk to Will Homer here at 14 past the hour. Coming up segment after that, third segment, my mom will be returning for Connie's Recipe segment, always jam-packed with great recipes. And again, I think what's important to note is not only are all of these recipes outstanding in taste and presentation quality, but anywhere from the beginning chef all the way up to the most experienced chef can prepare these in their home, on their grill, however you want to vary it. And again, recipes are mere outlines. If there's stuff that you would like to take out, or if there's something you would like to add in, certainly more than welcome to do that. And if you want to get your advanced copy of the recipes before you hear them, of course, you can email the show. Just go ahead and put in the date of the show today, which is July 18th. By the way, special happy birthday to my 5-year-old daughter, Marley Rempe. 5 today. So I know July 13th very well. So just put in July 13th and Mom's Recipes, and we'll get you those out as well. That's coming up 34 past the hour. 4-segment free-for-all. Lots of great stuff to give away. We have the wood smoke products from Greenleaf Barbecue. We have the Easy Hook from bbqhooks.com. Marcia Fox and the great folks out there on the West Coast listening in tonight, and they have been giving away the barbecue hooks for the last number of shows. And really a great tool, great beef flipper, great chicken picker-upper, great bacon flipper. I love that thing for bacon. But I've said it before, and I'm not kidding when I say this, and I believe I've heard Harry Carey say it on replay. The thing is really sharp, so if you win one, take care, my friends, because you could easily stick yourself in the finger. Don't get it near your eyeballs. Don't get it near your eyeballs. You don't want to do it. It would be very bad. So look for that, barbecue hooks. And then, of course, we have, and I've been making an error. Richard Fuller, I humbly apologize. El Capitan. And I'm using my proper Spanish vowel enunciations. El Capitan. Santa Maria style seasoning. We'll be giving a bottle away of that as well. So lots of stuff to win here in the 4-segment free for all. Remember, you have to be winning. You have to call in live in order to take part. You have the host, Harry Carey, asks 3 questions of varying degrees of difficulty. Usually they're pretty easy from what I understand. And you have 5 seconds to answer each question. So you can answer barbecue related or not barbecue related. Doesn't matter. There you go, 4-segment free-for-all. After dark, coming up 10:05 Eastern Standard Time, competitive eater, friend of the show, Joey Chestnut. We're going to be recapping 2 weeks ago his July 4th domination of the Nathan's world-famous hot dog eating contest. It is the pinnacle of the competitive food eating slate, competition circuit, or whatever you want to call it. But it doesn't get any better or bigger than the Nathan's world-famous food eating, hot dog eating competition, and that took place July 4th weekend. Joey, of course, won, and there was high drama with Kobayashi having a labor impasse, and he was not able to sign in on time. He also got arrested for crashing the stage later on in the afternoon after the competition took place, so we'll be able to get Joey's thoughts on all of that, plus any questions that you might have about the world of competitive eating. How do you do it? Are you training? Is it a sport? Are you a freak? What's the deal? So look for that. Joey Chestnut coming up, number 1 ranked, according to the IFOCE, which is the International Federation of Competitive Eating. So look for that 10:05 Eastern Standard Time tonight. All right, I have been diligently tasting these sauces that I got from Bullseye Barbecue Sauce. Usually I'm not a big fan of the big manufacturers. I always find that there's an overwhelming waft of that devil juice called liquid smoke. So I didn't necessarily have high hopes for these. And they've gone away from just like a traditional one flavor brand. Now they have a Texas style, a Carolina style, a Memphis style, Kansas City. And I've had a number of people here over the last week taste all of these. My favorite was the Carolina style. It's just kind of a little bit out of the ordinary. And if you know me, I like a little bit out of the ordinary. But all, the Texas and the Kansas City and the Memphis, while they did have a nose of that liquid smoke, it cooked off quite a bit, and I had it on chicken. I've had it on ribs, also brisket as well. And, for what it is, and if you need a store-bought sauce, I mean, Bullseye barbecue sauce has really stepped up to the plate, in my opinion, and delivered something that you can either use as a good base sauce or as a good standalone sauce. So again, while I had some reservation about tasting these and actually giving a review because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm going to be honest here. It's something that I would actually go out and buy if I wasn't making my sauce in a pinch or I didn't have another sauce readily available that I would personally prefer. But Bullseye barbecue sauce, doing it well. So look for it in your stores and you taste it out. Let me know if I'm full of it or not. But I like it and I'm going to continue to buy it. So there you go. All right, let me tell you about Yoder Smoky Mountain Barbecue. You know who they are by now, right? The leading online distributor of Meadow Creek barbecue equipment. Look, the barbecue smokers, pig roasters, chicken cookers, and grills are handcrafted in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and their goal is to give you outstanding value for the price. And they help you enjoy easy and profitable barbecues for years to come. They also carry a complete and wonderful line of rubs and sauces, and you got to check them out on the interwebs. Serious BBQs, that's BBQS, SeriousBBQs.com. Laverne Gingrich out there and the good folks at Yoder Smoky Mountain Barbecue. You got to go on their website and just look at them do the chicken flip with their big chicken cooker. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's so easy. You can do like 5,000 chicken thighs and just flip it right over, flip it back around. It's wonderful. We're going to raise up Will Homer, talk natural beef here. You're listening to the Barbecue Central radio show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Network.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. It's 14 past the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by the good folks over at the Ribolator. Gang, quit regulating yourself to the standard spit rod and motor where you can only do whole chickens and big cuts of beef. Why not a 4-tray Ferris wheel of ingenuity and imagination wonderment? Ribolator.com is the email address. You can put chicken and ribs and brisket and hamburgers and hot dogs. It's up to your imagination, and you can do it right now. Do you have a kettle-style grill? No problem. You can get the ring, the motor, the spit rod, and the Ribolator for $240. Do it now. Info@Ribolator.com is the email. Ribolator.com is the website. Check it out. It's good folks over at the Ribolator. All right, hey, Central Lights, maybe you didn't know this, but like 30 to 40 years ago, maybe longer, we as a country were getting our foods regionally, and then the influx of the big meat packers took hold, and we went from using what we had around us to some kind of outrageous mass-produced beef nightmare. And over the last few years, there seems to have been a trend emerging with these artisan beef companies and private beef ranchers. I thought it would be a good idea to get some more insight on this type of business. And joining me now is the owner and rancher of Painted Hills Natural Beef in Wheeler County, Oregon. I believe I'm saying that right. It's Oregon, right? It's none other than Will Homer. Will, thanks for coming on tonight. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic, Will, and I appreciate you giving us some time here on the Barbecue Central show tonight. Before we actually get into Painted Hills and what it's all about and what you're looking to do as a company and the vision, how about a little background about yourself and how you kind of got in the ranching trade?
Well, I was born into the ranching trade. My great-grandfather was in the cattle business in the California world years and years ago, and we've just kind of been that way. We moved up north here to the beauty of the Northwest, and here we are, ranching cattle and trying to bring our beef right to the marketplace, right to the consumer.
Did at any point you want to get out of the ranching business, or was it just in the blood and something you were going to keep doing regardless?
Well, there's lots of points where you should get out of the cattle business, but it's kind of in the blood, and it's good to be free and be out in the clean air and the beautifulness of the land. There's not great gobs of funds, dollars in this business, but it is fun and it is nice to be out there and be your own boss, and that just draws everyone to this business.
Will Homer from Painted Hills Natural Beef joining us here on the show. Well, has America really lost control of beef processing and perhaps bastardized it into some big corporate profit-making machine in your eyes?
Oh, I don't know if I can necessarily take on the industry that harshly. It has blended a lot of different parts together and become a monster. It is an industry about beef is beef and cheaper's better, and that is the idea that the big retailer and the big packers follow to get people the best value that they can out there. And in the process they've worked on efficiencies, and they've kind of lost focus in getting the best quality product to the market.
So when did Painted Hills Natural Beef actually form?
Painted Hills Natural Beef formed in 1996. And basically ranchers gathered around and said, we got to do something different, and went out on the market and kind of followed the old Coleman method years ago when Mel Coleman said, let's make beef without hormones and without antibiotics, and we said the same thing. Let's do this here in the Northwest. Let's take antibiotics and hormones out of production, and let's see if we can go out in that tough market and sell a little higher quality beef. And what we found was, by taking those out, we found that the beef has a better tenderness and a better flavor profile, and it really just has a great consistency, and it's been marketable. And we've grown quite well out here in the Northwest, and now expanded across the nation. You find us stretched from Maine to Hawaii.
So definitely a very far reach. When in '96, when you guys were trying to get this all together, did you think it was kind of a big risk to do this, or did you feel pretty confident that when you were able to explain what the process is, that it would kind of help sell itself?
Oh, no, it was a huge risk. It was a huge risk. We started out harvesting 10 head of cattle a week and hoping like heck we could sell the beef. And we started in a very small plant where the equipment was poor and the quality of product they made was poor, and there were times where retailers would throw your product out the back door and say, come get it, the bags are all broke. And through perseverance to my parents, my father, the president of the company, there's 7 ranching partners here in this organization that own it all together. And but perseverance of grinding through that 10 head to 15 head to 20 head to what we do today, it finally started to make sense once we got economies of scale. And that's kind of the pattern that the big guy's gotten in. He's just gone even beyond. So we're kind of in that niche level. We do have the security of having a large program, so to speak, concerns a niche, but yet we're not that giant guy out there killing 2,000 head of cattle a day.
Will Helmer joining us here on the show. PaintedHillsNaturalBeef.com is the website, by chance, if you want to check it out while you're listening here to the show. Will, have you seen a growth in your business over the last 5 years or so as citizens are becoming more and more aware, educated on their beef products, and actually start to search out better sources for their beef consuming needs?
Absolutely. The growth has been just tremendous. 2009, of course, was a tough year for everybody, and even through that, we saw a nice little growth pattern. And now, since the warm weather has broke in the world today, boy, growth has just been off the chart. It really has been great, and consumers they're starving for some quality. They're looking for quality. They don't mind the price of beef they see in the counter for something that has a little more value, as long as they can taste it when they take it home. And that's what they're finding. That's what they're finding in our program. I tell all the consumers we do a lot of demos, standing in stores and talking to folks, and they pick it up the first time because they want that product without antibiotics. They don't want to be exposed to any more antibiotics than they have to, and I'm with everybody on that. And so they take it home and they try it out, and man, it's good. It's melting in your mouth. It's sweet. It's delectable. And then from then on, it's a Painted Hills Natural Beef customer.
So let's go ahead and dig into that maybe a little bit more. Obviously, you could probably talk about hours maybe on this particular question, but as far as the pitch goes from you, Homer, why would somebody want to go ahead and eat natural beef versus what we might buy at a grocery store or some big box outlet?
It's really about, you're never going to believe this, but it's really about consistency. And I just blow people's minds when I say, McDonald's sells the most hamburgers not on the quality. Nobody said that they were knock your socks off. They sell on consistency, and Painted Hills Natural Beef brings consistency to the market. So that customer that had that steak or that hamburger or whatever they had that nice flavor, and they said, hey, man, that was really good. And so they go back in a month, in a week, whenever it is they buy beef again, and they have that flavor profile again, and they go, hey, that was good again. And so they know when they put their money on the counter what's behind the package. And the big industry, the big programs out there, they can't control how cattle are raised and how they're fed and what's behind the package. They can control what the value is, and where they kind of get it regionally, but they can't control what's in the package. So that's our kink. That's it. That's where we get it.
So, I mean, is somebody to assume that if they're going to their butcher or even the butcher in the grocery store that they aren't getting natural beef per se is something that you're providing?
You really have to ask the questions. All beef, in all reality, all beef is considered natural. The USDA standard has no real rules on that. As long as you can produce it in your kitchen, it's natural. It's the attributes that chase that. It's the attributes you use in background to that. It's beginning to be assumed that all natural beef is no hormones and no antibiotics. But there's a lot of word games out there in the market today, and that's not necessarily true. You have to know about your beef. You need to know where it comes from, what's going on, and you need to ask the question, does the packer, do they make claims? Do they make claims that it's no hormones, no antibiotics? Because those claims are registered. Those claims are managed by the USDA, the FSI, Food Safety Inspection Service, just like grading is, and all of those important. Those are policed, I like to say.
Now, for those that don't know, and by the way, we're talking Will Homer from Painted Hills Natural Beef. For the people that don't know, what's the process a newborn cattle goes through before being brought up for slaughter, I guess is a good word, or their end of life?
Well, that's the harvest is the new word we use in the industry. But, as a cowboy, and I'm sitting here wearing my cowboy hat and my cowboy boots, and that's part we never like to think about as a cowboy, but that's the ultimate goal. We all want to eat a hamburger, and we enjoy steaks, but,
yeah.
Our cattle are all beef cattle. We don't use any dairy cattle, so calves are born alongside their mother, and they stay there for 9 to 12 months, depending on however the producer operates. We use about 100 different producers' cattle in our program, a kind of a co-op, so to speak. And anyway, that calf raised on that cow and brought up and weaned, and then once he's about 600-700 pounds, he is left out there on the pastures to eat the grass. A cow is really a farm tractor for ground the tractor can't get on. They harvest the grass that the sun and the ground grow. And so the calf, then once he grows to about 850 pounds, and it's time to put him through a finish process. And we do use a ration that includes some corn and some alfalfa hay and some a little bit of moisture in there to keep pneumonia down, and it's all designed for their best health interest. We don't allow antibiotics, like I've said, so you can't do anything wrong. You treat an animal badly, it's going to get sick, just like you treat a human badly, and you can't do that. You got to treat them good and feed them good, and you give them all the best of everything. And so we do finish cattle for that process, and that's what gives us our nice choice grade and our nice flavor, and that's what drives that demand across the country.
So what's the finishing move on the cattle these days? How do you take one out?
Oh, it's called knocking them in the head.
Oh,
and it
okay.
Basically renders them brain dead instantly. There's a USDA inspector on site to make sure that happens. If that doesn't happen, they stop the whole production to make sure that there's no incidences out there that you want that animal dead instantly. You don't want any thrashing around. You don't want any follow through.
There you go. Sorry to ask that question, but I'm sure everybody was kind of wondering what's going on these days.
Everybody asks it.
all the lame interviews always ask that question, I can imagine. Will Homer from Painted Hills Natural Beef talking to us. So, I mean, if they're at 800, 900 pounds when they're brought to harvest, how much are you actually extracting out of the carcass once you're done butchering it? What's the poundage on that?
They're actually 1,200. They're 800 when they go on feed, and they're 1,200 when they come out of harvest.
Okay.
Come to harvest. I should explain that. And then when you harvest an animal, you only get like 30-some-odd% of beef. So out of 1,250 pounds, you get 300, 400 pounds of red meat that goes into the beef industry, that goes into a grocery store or a restaurant or something like that.
Now, because of the process and how you're finishing it, how you're bringing it up and then finishing it, is there a distinct flavor that your beef has due to the whole process that you're using?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do believe that you are what you eat. And we feed cattle pretty just plain and simple. We feed a ration that has some alfalfa hay in it and some corn in it, and it's nice and sweet. And the cattle and the beef has a nice, sweet, buttery flavor to it. I just really get that reaction from a ton of people from all over the country.
And how do people go about, if it's not available in your area, what's the best way to potentially go out and get some Painted Hills natural beef in your particular region of the country?
Well, we're always looking for more folks. So we always tell folks to go to their butcher, their favorite meat department, and say, hey, come look into this Painted Hills program. You got to check it out. And then also call us, email us. We'll get you set up. We'll either get you set up with someone in your area if we just happen to have somebody, or we will set you up with some kind of. I know there are some folks we work with who work over the internet and work with some drop ship work. So we'll call us. We'll get you set up.
Do you find that you're getting any blowback from the butchers that might think that they're all set up with whatever relationships that they have, and if you have somebody like me coming in asking for a different processor, that they're a little bit more apprehensive to jump in with you?
Oh, you do. You do. You get a lot of that. There's a lot of folks in the industry that it's about relationships. It's about, like I said, cheaper's better. Beef's beef. We've had all of those things in the past, and you know what? It's just stand out. What happens in my industry that really points the finger is, in my industry, the food service segment, the part that sells beef to I dropped the word restaurants. Restaurants buy beef with their mouth. They don't care about the price necessarily.
Right.
They want it all to come in, and they want to cut it up, and they want to taste test it right there. And Painted Hills Natural Beef wins taste test after taste test in markets from San Francisco to New Jersey and all places in between, and just keeps winning taste tests. We just stay pure to what we do. We don't fiddle with the ration. We don't fiddle with what's going on in our part of the world. We just try and create the same product over and over and over again. And as long as we do that, I have faith in my program. I have faith that there's a flavor profile there, there's a quality there, there's a consistency there, and that's what people are looking for.
Certainly sounds like the process is going well. Again, this is Will Homer from Painted Hills Natural Beef. He is an owner/rancher out there in Wheeler County, Oregon, and the website paintedhillsnaturalbeef.com for more information. Will, appreciate you coming on tonight and telling us about the all-natural beef. Continued success.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Will. There he is, Will Homer. All natural beef. What do you think about that? I think a lot of people are really thinking about that, by the way. Lots of people looking for all natural beef out there. You see it growing, like he said. Even in the downturns of 2009, business is growing. PaintedHillsNaturalBeef.com is the website. Let's check it out. I'd like to get my mitts on some of that meat, mister. Didn't know how to just ask for it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back with my mom's recipe corner and then the 4-segment free-for-all following that. Joey Chestnut after dark talking about hot dog eating. It's the Barbecue Central show on the Barbecue Central Radio Network.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Get in the the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
37 past the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices and a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life easier. The Onyx Oven, the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer, the meat mats, the Holy Smoke meat mats, I think they're called. Forget about it. I mean, you need automatic pit temperature control devices. These people originated it, so buy from the masters. 2 ways to find them: thebbqguru.com on the interwebs or toll free on your phone, 800-288-GURU, the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru. All right, let's head over to the hotline. Joining me now, somebody that gave birth to me 35 years ago this past Saturday, my mom. Mom, what's up?
Not much, Greg. What's up with you?
Well, I'm a year older.
Get that big stuff out of here.
What can I do about that? Nothing. It happens every year.
And aren't you 36 years old?
36 years old, that's right. See? You still got your faculties about you there.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
There you go. All right. So as we do almost every month now, as you come in, you share these great succulent recipes. And, of course, people are always pounding in asking how they can get their hands on some. So why not go ahead and start off like we normally do with the appetizer. And then, of course, we have a main entree. Or I guess that was kind of redundant, an entree. And then we have a side dish and then the dessert as well. We always start with the appetizer. So what's on tap for tonight?
Well, Greg, tonight we have the hot crab dip, and this is an appetizer that has just all great ingredients for a dip. There's crab to begin with, which is my personal favorite. Anything with seafood is fabulous, and it's fresh crab. You can use the canned crab if you want to, but I feel the fresh is really better. And to that crab, we're adding grated pepper jack cheese, mayonnaise, which, you can't have a dip without mayonnaise, Parmesan cheese, onion, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, fresh lemon juice, hot pepper sauce, and I use a teaspoon in my recipe, but, you can add more or less to taste, however you like it.
Do you have a brand of hot pepper sauce that you're recommending?
I use, Frank's.
Frank's Red Hot.
Pepper sauce. Yep. Yes. Always have used Frank's.
All right.
And then some dry mustard. And you're just going to mix that all together. Put it in a casserole dish, pop it in the oven, bake it for about 40 minutes until it's hot and bubbly, and serve it with, whatever you like, chips, crackers, toast points, if you will. And it's a wonderful appetizer.
Now, going back to the lemon juice, can you use the lemon juice that's out of that plasticky looking lemon type thing, or no way?
Well, you can use it if you don't have fresh lemon juice, but, fresh lemon juice has just that extra crispness to it. Fresh is better. But, if you don't have fresh, that little plastic deal is that works too.
All right, so it's a hot crab dip. You saying Frank's Red Hot works for you, so if you were looking for a name brand you needed to buy, go ahead and use that one. And we move from the appetizer over to the entree, marinated skirt steak. One of my all-time favorite cuts is the skirt steak. The girls love the skirt steak. So tell us about this wonderful-sounding entree.
Well, Greg, this might be a perfect time, as Homer was talking about, is Painted Hills natural beef.
Right.
You might want to give that a try right there. But I'm with you. Skirt steak to me is just always tender and flavorful, and you really can't beat that cut of meat.
And inexpensive, too, compared to some other cuts.
Yeah, and I used to get it at BJ's all the time, and I haven't found it there anymore. How about you?
Yes, I find it there, absolutely.
Huh. I mean, we used to get it there all the time, and it's kind of dried up. I don't know.
It's outrageous. I'll write a letter. Don't worry about it, Mommy.
Well, thank you, honey. And you're going to take the skirt steak and put it in a Ziploc bag and add the marinade to that. And the marinade I make right in a blender. And it's a combination of olive oil, soy sauce, scallions, garlic, red pepper flakes, cumin, and brown sugar. and I just whiz it up in the blender until it's all, nicely combined. Pour it in the Ziploc bag. You're going to want to marinate that skirt steak for at least an hour up to 24 hours, and then you're going to grill it on high, maybe 2 to 3 minutes on each side. It's thin. It really doesn't take any time to cook.
Right.
And you want to let that rest for about 5 minutes before you slice it. And with your skirt steak, you're always going to want to slice that across the grain.
Right. Always remember, slice against the grain with the skirt steak. Also with the, what's the other steak that I'm thinking of? Skirt steak and flank steak as well.
Flank steak.
Right.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
Question about, I've always wondered, you always see when you're marinating something, an hour, at least an hour, or 24. I mean, it's a substantial gap between 1 hour and 24 hours. If math serves me right, 1 it's like a 500-hour difference. So have you seen, have you done it for 24 hours? Have you done it for like 1 hour and then 5 hours? And is there a dramatic profile difference added to the meat if you let it go that much longer?
I think for 24 hours, it really does make a difference. 1 hour versus 5 hours, probably not so much. An hour is at least going to give that meat some extra flavor. But I think the longer you can leave it in there, the better. But, if you're hungry and you can't wait, well, you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. We all know the patience of the Centralites, no names please, runs at a very, very low premium. All right, so there's the entree, and then you got to have a great side to go with it, and you have shake and bake potato wedges. Is that like shake and bake and I helped?
That is it. We found this recipe in a magazine and thought, that sounds awesome, and made it the first time, and it was better than we even imagined.
Wow.
And it's so easy, but that shake and bake just adds such a flavor. You use the big Idaho baking potatoes,
right,
and you can get 2 servings out of a potato. So, this recipe calls for 4 servings, so it's just 2 large baking potatoes, which you cut into 8 wedges. And you drizzle olive oil over the wedges so you can have the shake and bake sticks to it.
Right.
You just roll those wedges in the crumb mixture, and then you're going to want to put it on a cookie sheet that's lined with the nonstick foil, which is one of the best inventions
it's
ever.
Great. It's absolutely great.
I never don't have it in the house. It's just fabulous. And you're going to put that on the foil in a single layer, drizzle with a little more olive oil, bake it in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, turning them once during that time. And so they're all nice and browned. And it's awesome. The flavor from the coating is amazing. You will love them. They're great.
Absolutely. Give that a try. I'm sure the starch eaters in the family would certainly appreciate it as well. So you have the marinated skirt steak and the shake and bake potato wedges as the entree/side. We started with the hot crab dip. Now we're going to finish it up with the big dessert, the Rocky Road no bake cheesecake. Love the rhyme.
Well, the rhyme is great, but the taste is even better.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great summer dessert. It's cool and delicious and easy to put together. It starts with 3 squares of semi-sweet baking chocolate, and you're going to take just one of those squares, pop it into a microwave bowl, nuke it for about 1 minute, stirring it until it's completely melted. Then in another bowl, you're going to beat the cream cheese, the sugar, and the milk until it's well blended. To that, you're going to add your melted chocolate. Then you're going to fold in Cool Whip topping, miniature marshmallows, chopped peanuts, and the other 2 squares of the semi-sweet chocolate that you're chopped up. Fold it all together. You're going to put it into an Oreo pie crust that you bought from the store. And why would you try to make your own when you can just buy it? It's so convenient.
It says Oreo on it, for crying out loud.
Really? Put that in the pie crust, pop it in the refrigerator for 4 hours until it's set, and you've got a great dessert. And if you want to, you could then put some hot fudge over the top of that.
Who would ever want to do that?
Who wouldn't like that?
Oh, my goodness. Sounds
It's
decadent.
delicious.
That's right. That sounds wonderful. That's the Rocky Road no-bake cheesecake. And then we had the shake and bake potato wedges for the side dish alongside the entree, which was marinated skirt steak. And we started with the hot crab dip. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any better than that. So if you're interested in getting your hands on this, Greg at the BBQ Central Show. Be sure to reference July 13th for the episode, and we will certainly get them out to you. And Mom, always appreciate you coming on. And again, with the fabulous recipes, and we will look for you again next month.
Thank you, Greg. Always a pleasure.
Take care. It's my mom, Connie Rempe, Connie's Recipe Corner. Hope you enjoyed that. Hot crab dip, marinated skirt steak, shake and bake potato wedges, Rocky Road no-bake cheesecake. Oh, my God. I think I'm going to make some of that a little bit later on tonight while I'm doing post-production. All right. Thanks to my mom again. All right, your time to win Centralites. Call in 877-448-0433. We have an Easy Hook. We have El Capitan Santa Maria-style seasoning. We have Cosmos Q. You can choose what you like. It's all right now. 877-448-0433. Stand by. We'll be right back. Centralites, do you having marriage troubles? Your kid's unruly and don't listen? Then you need Ribolator, because great barbecue will always bring the family together. And the Ribolator always cooks great award-winning barbecue. You can try it free for 30 days, and if your family life doesn't improve, just send it back. Ribolator even pays return shipping. But you need to take that first step. Visit Ribolator.com to get started or call 206-999-0962. Don't you deserve a happy barbecue family? Hey, gang, right here to talk about bbqteamsonline.com. Do you have a website? Get your barbecue team online. Visit bbqteamsonline.com for a high-quality, professionally made, fully customizable website. Easily display your team's upcoming events, start your very own online store, post event results, and show off those award-winning ribs in your photo gallery. Get your team online today by going to bbqteamsonline.com. Visit today.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our newest marinade, Cosmos Chicken Soak, for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love. You can find all of Cosmos award-winning products at CosmosQ.com. Cosmos Q, the new generation. Taste the difference.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. Barbecue Central Show.
All right, we are back. About 7 minutes till the top of the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by Barbecue Teams Online. Check them out on the web, bbqteamsonline.com. Mike Ryan is helping you out. Maybe you're a member of a barbecue team. Maybe you're the pit master of a barbecue team and you have zero web presence. What the hell is wrong with you? You got to get on the interwebs. It's not a fad. It's not quickly going away in the next week or two. You need to have your team have a presence for a small fee each month. He will set you up with a fully customizable website. He knows about the barbecue lineage, the culture, the folks. He can help you out. bbqteamsonline.com is the website. Check them out, and let's play the fourth segment, Free For All. Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here. Hi. Welcome to Tuesday. You know, I love Tuesday. I've never been a Tuesday I didn't like. Okay, we don't have a lot of time, so we go right to the phones. This is the fourth segment, Free For All, with Harry Carey. Who's this? Hey, who's this?
City. Dave in Kansas City.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
How you doing, Harry?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good.
All right, Steve. Do you want to play the game?
Bet.
Okay, barbecue questions or not barbecue questions?
Let's go barbecue.
How'd I figure that one, Steve? I don't know. Call me crazy. Okay, here we go, Steve. I'm going to ask you 3 questions barbecue related. You're going to have 5 seconds to answer each question. Here we go. Steve, name my first guest tonight.
Homer.
That's right, Will Homer. Painted Hills Natural Beef, or so it says here on the sheet in front of me. All natural beef. I once had all natural... Never mind, Steve. Second question. Who was my second guest last night?
Second guess, it'd be your mom.
Who?
Mom, I'm sorry, Greg's mom, Connie.
That's right. Steve, I let you go because I figured you were going to say that, but you forgot you were talking to world-famous Hall of Fame broadcaster Harry Carey, didn't you?
Yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry, Gary. My bad.
That's all right, Steve. Okay, third question, then you can win a prize. Steve, are you excited?
Very excited. I'm always excited.
Yeah, I know I am. Steve, we're a lot alike, I think. Okay, third question. Here we go. What's the name you call a certain barbecue meat that has the names Packer? Oh, crap. I just lost it. Crap. Okay, Steve. Last ditch, last question. Name the piece of metal that your meat sits on your grill.
Great.
That's right, great. Not only is it a piece of equipment called great, that answer was great, Steve. I'm very happy that you've won tonight. So we can go to the prize. Hey, no problem, Steve. Okay, so we can go to the prize closet. We have barbecue hooks. We have El Capitan Santa Maria style seasoning. And we have Cosmo's Q. Which one would you like?
Yeah, actually, I think I want to try the seasoning.
El Capitan. Let me tell you something, Steve. It's succulent. I love it.
Can't wait to try it.
All right,
I'm
Steve.
excited.
Here's what you have to... I'm excited too, Steve. Okay, here's what you have to do. Email me winner at thebbqcentralshow.com and we'll get you hooked up. Did you get that, Steve? Winner at thebbqcentralshow.com.
Great, I got it. Thank you, Harry.
All right, thanks for calling in, Steve. Beat it. That was Steve. He wins El Capitan. We're a little behind, maybe depending on how the next segment goes. When your host comes back, he might give away stuff here in the 10 o'clock hour. I don't know. I only get paid to do 8 minutes. I'm not doing a minute over. You can kiss my ass. I don't care what these people say. You can't make me do anything I don't want to do. I'm Harry Carey, Hall of Fame broadcaster. Okay. That's going to do it for me. Thanks to Steve for calling in. He won El Capitan. SBSpiceCompany.com, I believe, is the website. It might be SBSpice.com. Google it. That's what everybody's telling me to do these days. You don't know what it is? Hey, I'll be like, hey, Stouty, who did this? He's like, hey, Carrie, Google it. Why won't you tell me, Stouty? We used to be buddies. We used to be friends. All right, I got to go. I'm out of here. All right. There it was, another successful 4-segment free-for-all. El Capitan looks like it's headed out the door to the lucky winner, Steve. Kansas City, I believe, if I'm reading this writing correctly. Steve from Kansas City? Okay. El Capitan, it's a succulent rub. I love it. I'm never to be without it. Thanks to Richard Fuller for donating that. We still have some Cosmos Q, and we still have some barbecue hooks left over, so we'll give those away 10 o'clock hour just for calling in after Joey Chestnut. Stay tuned for that, by the way. Joey Chestnut coming up here in just a few minutes. Thanks to Will Homer from Painted Hills Natural Beef. That website, paintedhillsnaturalbeef.com. If you want to find out more about the natural beef that he provides, maybe hook yourself up with some there, your local meat purveyor. Also, thanks to my mom for sharing those recipes if you want to get them in. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and then go ahead and make sure you put in July 13th, 2010 in the subject line. We'll get them right out to you. All right, stand by for news, and then we'll be coming back with Joey Chestnut after dark. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required. for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com. Or call 1-800-288-GURU.